Hello, Tim from Fair Play Now on the 30th of January 2023. Got a couple of things to talk about today, and it's a bit of a late one. I've only just got back from work really. Was a long hard day, but got everything done. And the first thing I want to talk about, well, there's all of this hoo-ha concerning the company that starts with PF. I think it's rapidly becoming PF Gate, or the full company name Gate, and I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, where this apparent executive from that company was caught out by Project Veritas, I think it was, who, well, it's basically a sting operation, and he was caught out coming out with all kinds of dodgy stuff that company are apparently up to. So not sure what to make of it. If you have got any kind of documentary or by someone such as Redacted or someone like that who has made a video about this, that'd be great, so I can learn the whole thing, what it's all about. But if it's true and it's not some kind of weird fake thing, and it's all true, and it seems like it is true because it's kicking off everywhere, isn't it? Even American senators are asking questions, so I'm pretty sure it is a true thing, but I'm not going to comment too much more about the whole thing until I've found out a bit more about it and what it's concerning and where it's likely to lead. But if it is a genuine thing, it could be sort of mind-blowing, couldn't it? So a couple of interesting posts here on my Telegram group. I mentioned yesterday, didn't I, how Novak Djokovic won the Australian Open, but I didn't see the footage of him immediately after he won. He literally played his winning shot, and then the first thing he did, even before going and shaking the hand of his opponent, was he turned to the crowd and basically pointed to his head like that, and then to his heart like that, and he was looking very pointedly. And there's speculation that he might have actually been looking directly at Jill Bates, who apparently was in the crowd, and it kind of meant that he used his head, and that organ in there is perfectly fine, thank you very much. So very interesting. If you've got any comment on that, it'd be great to see it. And another very interesting post on the Telegram group. This is basically something by a certain H.L. Menken, who wrote this, by the looks of it, many years ago, or many decades ago. And it says, the most dangerous man to any government is the man who is able to think things out for himself, without regard to the prevailing superstitions and taboos. Almost inevitably, he comes to the conclusion that the government he lives under is dishonest, insane, and intolerable. And then it finishes, we are those men and women. So how true is that? We refuse to just go along with the tide. We sort of actually think, we use our powers of critical thinking, and we're not just going to buy into any old sort of ridiculous nonsense. And like the man said, the only conclusion he can come to are what he says: the government is dishonest. Well, we've seen that with the minister Zawawi, who has been kicked out of his position because of tax irregularities, allegedly. So we know they're dishonest, insane and intolerable. Well, they've done plenty of things that look completely insane and yeah, intolerable, aren't they? So I thought I'd read that out. Very, very apt, isn't it? So I thought I'd just finish this. There's with a couple of events this coming weekend. Haven't got too much going on, but then I've got a couple of interesting weekends after that. The first one, I've talked about them quite a lot, but I've never actually been there. The Hope Sussex home education people who are doing great things along those lines down there in East Sussex, and they are hosting the Uprise and Shine event on the weekend of the 11th and 12th of February. I'm actually going myself, so I'm looking forward to getting down there and sort of checking out the latest from the Uprise and Shine people, and also checking out Hope Sussex as well in person. So it's going to be a good weekend, and if you're interested in going as well, what I'll do is I'll just leave a link in the description box below here, and if you want to go along, I'll see you there. And then the weekend after, on the Saturday the 18th, we've of course got the Oxford event. It sounds like there's going to be a good few people going actually. I've heard of lots of people who are going to go, and they're calling it the Stop Oxford Community Day of Action. Saturday the 18th of Feb, like I say, starts at 1 p.m. Location is yet to be announced, but it's going to be in the centre of Oxford, I should think. And yeah, it's looking like an interesting day. There's going to be community outreach, community speakers, music, and then it says there's even going to be stuff going on in the evening, an evening meeting, conference with social networking opportunities, and then it says details to follow. So as and when I find out what that's all about, I'll tell you on here as well. And then it goes on to say the key speakers who will be there on the day. We've got Peter Ford, Dan Aston Gregory. He's the guy who did the pandemic podcast on here. I think he was banned actually, although I believe he's got another channel. But yeah, he'll be interesting to hear. Mark Devlin will be speaking there, Paul Burgess and Jonathan Tilt. So there's some good speakers there. Should be a very interesting day, and I'll be there. And if you're planning on going, I look forward to seeing you there. So I'm gonna leave it there for now, and I'll be back tomorrow. And like I say, I'll leave the link to the Hope Sussex Uprise and Shine event, where you can go along and get your tickets from there, in the description box below. Tim from Fair Play Now, thanks for watching.